Yes, welcome back. You're watching the South Australian Sports Show. Poppy, time to talk about squash, and so let's go straight to the development manager, James Rogers, joins us. James, how are you?
Good, how you going, guys?
And we're very fortunate, of course, Australian junior women's squash player has joined us, Lauren Aspinall. Lauren, how are you? And congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I've already laid $20 on the table and said, right, it's on. We're going to, and...
Who's we?
Well, when I say well, I meant me.
Yep.
But James has said, yeah, she'll crumble under the pressure. She'll crumble under the pressure.
Playing
$20
you.
on the table.
Playing you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got $100 on you. Hey, congratulations. When did you find out?
About 3-4 weeks ago.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. So you're off to New Zealand in August? Is
July.
It? July?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know much about the teams you're playing against? Much scouting report or?
I've been to World Juniors for the last 2 years and playing Oceania Junior Champs and other international events. So I've seen a lot of the girls that will be playing, so I have a fair idea of some of the girls, but of course there's always new faces every year.
You know, there's different styles in different countries for most sports. The same for squash. The Asians play a little bit different. The Europeans different to the Aussies. What's the style that Australia play?
Probably a little bit more standard, just rallying it out lots and not really hitting any winners like a lot of the Asian countries do.
So the Asians try and get it over pretty quickly. What about the Europeans? What do they try and do?
Bit of a mix, really. Some of the countries tend to just slog it out like we do, but others tend to be more like the Asians.
I guess that's your key, though, isn't it? Being able to develop a style that can be massaged to win games against whoever you're up against. When you're going for it, are there weaknesses in your game that you realise you need to be working on, and if so, what are they?
Yeah, I suppose a lot of the weaknesses I found have been shown in senior games that I've been playing recently.
Yeah.
So, especially going to events like Worlds, you need to be a lot fitter and stronger, and just especially with the way we play, just like being able to out-rally everyone else and just get everything back and always just keep it in play. And a lot of times in juniors, just wait for the other person to make an error.
So in saying that, how much time spent on the court, working on the skills obviously and your fitness level in playing, and then how much time away from the court?
I probably spend up to 20 hours a week training. Obviously not all of that on court, just hitting probably once, sometimes twice a day, and then probably the other half of my training is just fitness and strengthening.
James, how important is it to have emerging talent, not only for you as a business, but for the sport in general across the country? Because it's been a few years since we've had the Ditmars or others that have given the sport the momentum it needs.
Yeah, obviously it's really important, especially to have young females, because we want more people playing the game, and especially girls. So Squash SA really has an emphasis on giving these guys the time and resources they need through coaching and funding and travel to try and create future ambassadors for, we can put into clubs and we can take out to schools and spread the word. So we're only a small organisation, but we do like to create these ambassadors to get the most representation we can.
Normally the problem for the athlete, they don't have somewhere to train. Now a 24/7 venue springs up at
that's great.
Tonsley, so you'll be able to train at midnight if you need to, Lauren. So tell us a little bit about 24/7 down at Tonsley.
We're really excited to have it. It fits with the innovation sort of feel that the state government's trying to put in there through Renewal SA at that Tonsley campus, the old Mitsubishi site.
Yes.
So they've just ripped everything out, put a new roof on. They've got Flinders University there with 1,400 students. The TAFE has 5,000 students a year. There's about 100 businesses that are pop up in small little pods. Squash SA is one of them. We've got our office pod there, and we've taken our fully glass court, international standard court there, put that up, and we've created like a world first where we've got it accessible via internet booking, payment system, locking mechanisms on camera. So basically we've got the world's first accessible 24-hour squash court, let alone glass court that's accessible to the public. So we're pretty pumped about that, and the kids love training on it as well because you feel like one of the top players.
How many glass courts are there in the state? Is there any others?
There's one in the state and there's 2 in Australia.
Wow.
There'll be one more after the next combat.
Because it's the sort of thing that you've seen on television. I've always, as a casual squash player, thought that would be great to play on and in. So from a lighting perspective, it's all just, it doesn't matter what time of day, it lights accordingly, given that all glass?
Yeah, so during the day, you're actually better off to play with a standard black ball.
Yes.
But once the sun starts going down a little bit, you change to the white ball like the pros would use.
Okay.
And the lighting, we've had to change the lighting. Renewal SA didn't want us using our 24 massive halogen lamps that suck a lot of power. So we've got LEDs on there. That's the first as well. So, yeah, once it starts getting dark, the white ball's really cool to play with and it stands out really well. And the good thing is people can see in as they're walking to work or getting a coffee or leaving their trade school, they're walking past just watching us play. play going, wow, and we're saying, come in, have a go.
Have a go. Yeah,
It's great
it's like the opportunity, for instance, in another sport to be playing, if you're a football fan, to play on Adelaide Oval or the MCG, or a soccer
all the
fan
time.
play at Adelaide United. To have that sort of facility is amazing. Have you spent much time on it at the moment?
Yeah, probably training twice a week on it for the last 2-3 weeks.
And is that relevant to, say, New Zealand in July when you're playing? Do you play on an all-glass court then or not?
Some World Junior Championships have had them. It depends on the facilities available, but generally not.
Yeah, I'm thinking if I was playing, I wouldn't want anyone watching me. I think the glass is fantastic. Mate. Although in saying that, it's really relatively cheap. I mean, $14 for half an hour is $20 for 45 minutes,
Is that
depending
it?
on whether you're at
Really?
lunchtime or
Oh,
not.
that's good.
And that's the price for. So if you and I go and play, it's $14 to get. It's not $14 for you, $14 for me. So it's just about.
Mate,
So
too
it's
cheap.
ridiculously cheap to go on to access it.
Well, that's the luxury we have, is we have that glass court in a really prominent location with all these young people and new sort of techie businesses around. So we want to make the most of exposing the court. Squash
Okay,
SA
sure.
doesn't operate for money. It's not for profit. We want to expose the sport as best we can, and that's the way we're going to do it, to help the other centres.
Fantastic.
Hey, Lauren, for you, travelling overseas, obviously squash is a lot bigger in other countries than here in Australia. How much time do you have to spend overseas?
Kind of depends on where you are in Australia, I guess. A lot of the Queensland players and New South Wales players have a lot more people there to train with, so even just travelling to other states for me is generally worthwhile. But yeah, I guess going to other countries, we get a lot of exposure to other different styles of games, which helps us in the long run. So it's probably over the next few years not spending too much time overseas just while trying to balance study and things like that. But yeah, definitely in later years spending more time overseas and gaining more points.
What are you studying?
Speech pathology.
Okay, so you're trying to fit that in around your squash, around everything else. How are you finding it?
It's not too bad. The uni's pretty good with accommodating for elite athletes like myself, so they're pretty lenient with all things like that.
Lauren, fantastic. Well done. We'll follow you with
Yeah.
interest. I'm sure we'll chat to you before you go and then after you come back. James, we'll try and get down there with the cameras one
I
time
just want
and
to
watch
quick- yeah.
Poppy getting absolutely shellacked.
I
by
know,
you
I
on the
know.
court, mate.
I'm serious. It's on.
Are you going to play Lauren?
Yeah.
You are dreaming, seriously.
What?
Oh, please.
Just quickly, so how do people log on to?
Yeah, just go to the Squash SA website,
Yes.
squashsa.asn.au, and you'll
Yes.
see a 24/7 squash logo on the top right-hand
Okay,
corner.
yes.
You can click for info or click straight to book in.
Sorry, is
Well
Lauren
done.
playing left-handed or opposite?
No, obviously, it's going to be on. I can play.
What are you using, a tennis racket?
No,
Oh, please.
it's on.
I can't wait to show that footage to the viewers. Stay with us. Still, a bit more to come on the show.